Hello to all my chefs and sous chefs out there. Today, I have an exclusive Freddy Cooks International soul food recipe for salmon croquettes. You definitely want to stay tuned all the way to the end because we're also making a Cajun Remoulade sauce that is going to complement these with a layer of flavor that you're not going to believe. Stay tuned because this is as southern as it's going to get, all the way down to the cast iron skillet. Just to give you a little disclaimer before we begin, if you are being conscious of your salt content, don't worry, you can completely opt out of the salt and you will still get a layer of flavor that you don't understand. Or you can cut the salt content in half. It's up to you. It's all about what you want to do. Now, let's talk about what you're going to need. Anybody who is cooking soul food or want to inspire to cook soul food, you need to go out and get all of these ingredients because you should already have them in your cabinet or you ain't cooking nothing, for real. So, you're going to need 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of parsley, 1 teaspoon cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Say it with me, black pepper. Okay, that's close enough. You're also going to need 1 teaspoon of Cajun season, 1/4 cup green onion, 1/4 cup white onion, 1/4 cup red pepper, 1 teaspoon minced garlic, and a half of the juice of lemon, 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs, Italian breadcrumbs that is, 1 1/4 cup of flour approximately, and 2 eggs. Okay, of course you're going to need the salmon as well. I thought that was a given, but okay. Now, salmon, don't let this scare you either because you're going to also need to take out the bones. You don't have to take out the bones. You can actually eat the bones because once you cook them, they get very soft. But when I grew up as a child, I did not like fish because of the bones. So let's just take them out. I don't want to eat the bones, the vertebrae, backbone, whatever you want to call it. Take it out. It's very easy. As you can see, it comes out most of the time in one piece. Looks like that. Like I said, don't be frightened. It's just a bone. Alright, so you can crumble it up. And we're going to take our Italian breadcrumbs. About 2 tablespoons. About 2 tablespoons of flour. You know, it doesn't have to be exact. It's not all that serious. It's very forgiving. Soul food is very forgiving. You don't have to use exact measurements. They're going to blend again together if you get approximately closely to, you know, what you need. We're adding the onion, adding the seasonings, and guess what we're going to do now? Oh yeah, we got to add the lemon juice as well. Don't forget the lemon juice. Add your 2 eggs. And your eggs is going to also mix in with your breadcrumbs and your flour to help it stick together. There's not a lot of grease or fat in here to hold them together, so the eggs and the breadcrumb is really needed. You can also use just some crumbled up bread. You can also use some crumbled up crackers. You just need some breadcrumbs in there. Okay, it should look like that. And next, step 2, we're going to make the patties. You're going to start off with a bowl of flour. That's a cup of flour there. You don't have to put that salt in there, but you can. Cajun seasoning. You know, I'd say I'm using a whole teaspoon of these. You can go ahead and do a half teaspoon if you don't like a whole lot of flavor or seasoned. If you don't like your food really seasoned, I don't know who don't, but I'm just saying you can go with half of what I'm doing. I'm doing a whole teaspoon because I just need it. Half teaspoon works just fine. We're going to do some more breadcrumbs there. It's like, what, a tablespoon? Something like that. And like I said, don't worry about exact measurements. It's okay, I promise. You don't want to go too overboard, of course, but, you know, just be reasonable. Put some in there. Go somewhere and sit down. No, we can't sit down yet. We still have to make our patties, and we gotta get these bad boys in some grease. Okay, so I'm going to show you several ways to do this because it can get quite messy. Start with a ball, and you can roll it in the flour. That one came out pretty good. Trying to decide what I want to do here. Okay, I just roll it. You can roll that in flour, and then maybe it won't be so messy when you pick it up and then pat it out. I know some people use the egg wash when frying, but I don't really like the heavy coating on my salmon, so I'm skipping the egg wash and just going with the flour coating. It may also help if you wash your hands after every 2 or 3 patties because the buildup just gets real. So I've just washed my hands, and I'm going to show you another way that you can do this. There's really no right or wrong, no one way. There is multiple ways. As long as it works for you, you just need to accomplish the goal at the end. And the goal is to make some patties, however you need to get there. So I've got a spoon, and then I'm covering it, make a little ball in a spoon. It's a big spoon. Preferably without the ridges on the bottom of the spoon because you'll be pushing your salmon through the little ridges, but it don't matter. As you can see, it still works. See that? Like I said, you just need to make some patties. So however you can accomplish this goal, some of you already have practice. I don't know who's out there ever made mud pies, but you just need to pat out some patties. Just like a mud pie. Don't act like you don't know what a mud pie is now. Come on. If you hadn't made a mud pie, you ain't lived your childhood. You need to go back and try it again. Okay, so here's another one I'm showing you. Just for kicks and giggles. Okay, you're gonna end up with about 6 or 7 of these from one can. If you make them smaller, you can get 8 to 10. Now we need to give them a hot oil treatment. Yes, a hot oil treatment does the trick. Make sure you cook each side 5 to 7 minutes at least. And this is a medium-high heat. until they're golden brown. As you can see, these came out, I would say, fairly nicely. And there's your completed salmon patty. Of course, you want to drain them on paper towel. And there we have it. Now, it's time for the Cajun Remoulade. Okay, this tastes very similar to a Zaxby sauce if you've had Zaxby sauce, but it's like 3 times better. Just saying. I'm just saying. You're gonna need do a half teaspoon of salt. You can do a half teaspoon of pepper, half teaspoon of Cajun season. You can do a whole teaspoon of cayenne if you like it spicy, or half teaspoon is okay. Do a half teaspoon to like a half teaspoon of parsley, half teaspoon of garlic powder. That's like a half teaspoon of white sugar. Oh, I forgot to tell you that that's mayo. That's like 3/4 cup of mayo that you start with. And that's your hot sauce. And you're also going to need a half teaspoon to a teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic. Depends on how much you like garlic. And this is pickle juice. Half teaspoon of pickle juice. If you have it, you've got a half teaspoon of dried mustard. You can definitely use yellow mustard if you don't have dry mustard. And I'll put these ingredients in the link below, in the description below. Stir, 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 stir it up. Of course, you have to taste it. And there we have it. This is the Cajun Remoulade sauce for dipping. You have to try it. When you try it, come in the comments and tell me how wonderful this was. Don't forget to watch the salmon patty or salmon croquette mukbang. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me, Freddie Cooks International Soul Food. Catch me on YouTube.